Good morning friends and welcome to the pre-market view. US markets were down about 0.4% as we had some weak consumer durable goods data. The 10-year bond yields in US continues to hover around 2.8%. European markets were marginally up about 0.25 to almost about 0.75%. No major data points from there. And when we look at the Asian markets today morning, Japan is marginally down and most of the other Asian markets are also showing a downtick, and our own SGX Nifty is suggesting that we are going to have a negative tick to the tune of about 43 points, mainly on account of slightly weak global cues as well as the fact that the food security bill has been passed in Lok Sabha. So that will add to the current stressed balance sheet of the government and the deficit. So definitely one can expect some negative reaction on the overall market as well as particularly for the banking stocks. In terms of flows, FIs were net sellers in the cash market to the tune of almost about 609 crore. The domestic institutions were biased to the tune of about 400 odd crore. And in the index futures, the FIs were sellers to the tune of almost about 960 crore. In fact, just to put things in perspective, the FIs have been selling in the cash market for the 7 days at a trot. And even in the index futures, we have seen quite a bit of short built up. So in the last 6 to 7 days, there has been a continuous selling by the FIIs, which is definitely not a good sign in the current environment. On that note, let me invite Shaival to take us through important F&O cues, the data and strategies that we can have in the F&O markets.
Good morning friends, let's have a view at derivatives. Friends, from last 2 days we have been seeing that markets are unable to surpass the hurdle of 5,500 on the higher side. And now if we have a look in the on the futures and options activity, we have seen that for second day in a row with every rise in the market, some short positions have been built up. Now the PCR ratio has been hovering around the mark of 0.95. And talking about the options activity, it's clearly visible from the option matrix that apart from 5,800 call option and 5,500 and 5,300 put option, we have seen across strike unwinding taking place in the market. This may be majorly because of the uncertainty or say lack of clarity with regards to the direction or say domestic issues which we have been facing, due to which we have been seeing volatile and uncertain moves in the market. Now the India VIX has also seen an up move by around 4 to 5%, and implied volatility has also shot up, which has been clearly indicating that the uncertainty is going to persist in the market and we may see some volatile moves in the market. As we are trading above our VWAP, our bias for the market is positive, and from intraday perspective, Raymond is looking weak, so one can go short by maintaining a stop loss of 201 rupees 95 paisa. Thank you.
Here are the important news and events that we are tracking today. First of all, the Cabinet Committee on Investment has cleared 36 infrastructure projects across these sectors like power, roads, ports and cement. The total amount works out to about 1.9 lakh crore, which is definitely a bit of a positive. We have seen some uptick in the infra stocks like L&T, GMR and few others on the back of this announcement. So there could be some more upside, but we don't think it's a game changer. There's not going to be any significant up move in the infra stocks on the back of this announcement. SESA Goa, which is going to be part of the Sensex now, and we'll also see the weight increase in the Nifty because of the amalgamation that has been approved by the shareholders as well as the High Court. So one can expect some positive action in the SESA Goa stock in today's market. The private equity fund CX Partner is in the final stage of negotiations for the purchase of Future Ventures' 28.3% stake in women's apparel brand Biba. So one can expect some positive action in the Future Venture stock in today's market. And NSCL fiasco gets worsened as that company is looking at another default today, because so far the company has managed to garner only about 12 crore, and looks like the income tax authorities also have conducted a survey and they have found no stock at the warehouses. So this looks like is going to get a little worse. So one can expect overall sentiment to remain a little negative on the back of this development. After months of negotiations, finally it looks like that JP Associates would finally be able to sell that cement unit for a valuation of about $130 a ton. which is almost like a replacement cost, and earlier the company was looking at a price of about $160. So this is a bit of actually a negative for JP Associates. The Federal Bank is looking at increasing the FI stake to about 65%, as the current FI limit in the company is already crossed about 49%. So one can expect some positive reaction in the Federal Bank stock in today's market. ONGC, some positive news, as the world's biggest oil producer Saudi Aramco is looking at acquiring about 30% stake in the ONGC subsidiary based in Gujarat called Opel. So one can go long on ONGC with a stop loss of 263 and a target of about 276 to about 281. Shipping Corporation, again some positive news, as the company is increasing the freight rates from its Indian subcontinent to Europe, Middle East, Black Sea and Red Sea trade route from September 1st. So one can go long on Shipping Corporation with a stop loss of 32 and a target of about 34.5. That's it from all of us, friends. Have a great trading session and see you tomorrow at the same time.